Kentucky. Tonight, the Louisville Cardinals host the Tulane Green Wave at a Metro Conference battle. Hi again, everybody. This is Tim Brando along with Steve Grody. Tonight, two teams with contrasting styles. Louisville looked like they were ready for the Final Four, perhaps, last Wednesday against Florida State. Then their Jekyll and Hyde act continued Saturday with a loss to Marquette. Tulane, a team that wants to play tempo in every game, and certainly tonight, Steve.
Yeah, well, nothing new with these two teams. I mean, Tulane's going to come out and hold the ball, take the high percentage shot. And you're right, Louisville has proven consistently that they can be inconsistent. They looked like a Final Four team against Florida State, but Florida State ran with them. Marquette just came in here and outplayed them.
You know, when you look at the standings in this league right now, it's apparent that there are three teams that are struggling for the top spot and everyone else really in the middle of the pack.
Well, they really are. Now, Virginia Tech, and we'll have Virginia Tech, Memphis State in a couple weeks. But Louisville, Memphis State set up for the showdown. Remember now, Virginia Tech has played Louisville on the road and Memphis State on the road, so they got the toughest part of their schedule out of the way early.
Tulane, of course, and Florida State are right there struggling to stay in the upper division.
Yeah, and South Carolina, to me, one of the disappointments this year, lost a lot of games at home in the conference. I thought they'd be a little bit better than they are right now.
There are some pivotal games coming up this week in the Metro Conference and some non-conference action as well for a number of the ball clubs in this league. We start with South Carolina and Richmond. They're playing tonight. Murray State against Southern Mississippi. Coming up on Monday night, Saturday's games, there you see it, Tulane against Virginia Tech. That ought to be a dandy at Blacksburg.
Well, you know, it's very hard to control tempo against Tulane. I mean, just because of the way they hold the ball, so that'll be a good test.
UAB, Memphis State, Southern Mississippi, Florida State, Louisville against LaSalle in the non-conference battle, and Notre Dame and South Carolina, that on Saturday. On Monday, Louisville travels to Florida State. Virginia Tech will take on Southern Mississippi, and the Bearcats of Cincinnati will travel to New Orleans to take on Tulane. Now, in this ball game, Ned Fowler is facing that same old matchup problem in the backcourt. Flash and dash in the form of Lancaster Gordon and Milt Wagner against what seems to be an outmanned backcourt with Gary Delph and Kevin Solomon.
Well, he's got a little bit bigger lineup in the backcourt, so if he wants to play man-to-man, he matches up a little bit better than when he has Solney, etc. They're so small. I think the key would be to, you know, Ned Fowler believes he's got to shoot 50% to win. 4 of the 5 teams that have beaten Louisville have shot 50% from the field. So if he can control the tempo, keep the score down, and shoot 50%, he would seem to have a chance.
Well, something we know, that is that Tulane loves to control tempo, and they've been able to do it against most teams they face.
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, by design. And the last time we had them, we saw them very successfully going to John Williams. So look for them to do that in this ball game.
All right, and we will be back with the starting lineups for tonight's game right after this.
Best of it, the best of the Rockies is yours. Coors to you, the clean of it all night. Through the fresh of it, Rocky Mountain Gold you got. The best of the Rockies is yours.
For Eddie Hutter, whose car had the muscle, but whose gas lacked guts, there's Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. For David Garcia, whose diesel rabbit couldn't get hopping, the Gulf's green filters his fuel for starts quick as a bunny. For the Bayshore Bulls, whose pass is incomplete, Gulf's gas with guts has the power they need.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
If it's a new skill you're seeking or new challenges for the mind, Jefferson County Adult Education is for you. From aerobics to computers to welding, there's a class just right for you, and this spring, 15 adult education centers are available throughout Jefferson County. Register for spring classes February 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th from 6 to 9:30 p.m. Jefferson County Public Schools Adult Education with over 250 course offerings and at 15 locations. There's one right for you.
William H. King's big 27th annual Sport Boat and Vacation Show opens this Saturday at the fairgrounds, and we've got it all. Boats, RVs, our largest fishing and travel sections ever, plus free entertainment. There's something for you at the sports show.
Come out to William H. King's Sport and Vacation Show. 'Cause it won't be long till it's that time of year.
Welcome back to Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky for tonight's battle between the Tulane Green Wave and the Louisville Cardinals. Here are the starting lineups for the Tulane Green Wave. Starting at forward, number 40, a 6'8 freshman, Whitney Dabney. At the other forward position, a junior, John Johnson from Columbus, Georgia, at 6'7". At the center position, from Sorrento, Louisiana, a 6'9 junior, number 54, John Williams. At the point guard position for Ned Fowler's ball club, number 12, Gary Delph, a 6'2 senior guard from Anderson, Indiana. And at the other forward, number 32, Howard Jenkins, a guard at 6'4, a senior from Bryan, Texas. For the Louisville Cardinals, starting at one forward, a 6'8 sophomore from Camden, New Jersey, Billy Thompson. Manuel Forrest from Moore High School here in Louisville will be at the other forward, a 6'7 junior. Charles Jones from Scuba, Mississippi, a 6'8 senior center, will be at the pivot spot for Denny Crum's ball club. At one guard, number 4 from Jackson, Mississippi, Lancaster Gordon, a 6'3 senior. And at the other guard, number 20, Milt Wagner, a 6'5 junior, and he is from Camden, New Jersey. We'll be back with the opening tip-off of tonight's game right after this.
I am the footsteps of William Shakespeare along the River Avon. I am a once mighty castle on the shores of Loch Ness. I am a thatched cottage in an old English village. I am British Caledonian Airways. I am the first-class way to London. I will serve you the finest European cuisine. You'll enjoy the luxury and comfort of a Sky Lounger's seat and the personal service recognized by many as the finest in the world. I am the best of Great Britain. I am British Caledonian Airways.
With all the changes in the telephone industry in South Central Bell, you may have questions.
How can I keep my phone bill down?
How will I get telephone equipment?
What about repair service?
We want to make the changes easier for you. If you have questions, call 1-800-555-5000. We're still your phone company.
Welcome back to Freedom Hall for tonight's battle between the Tulane Green Wave and the Louisville Cardinals. There are tonight officials for you tonight. John Morrow on the left of your screen, Joe Forte in the middle of your screen, and to his right is Charles Vaca. So those are the gentlemen that will be in the striped shirt calling tonight's game. Louisville leads this series. In fact, Tulane has never won a game in this series, 15-0. The Metro Conference Championship game is where these two ball clubs met last season. 66-51 was the final. And we'd also like to welcome to our viewing audience tonight the friends of ours from On TV and the USA Cable Network. We're very happy to have all of you with us tonight for tonight's battle. You were at that championship game. Ned Fowler was in it. In fact, Tulane may have played Louisville the best game of anyone in the Metro Conference in that particular game the last half of the year, Steve.
Well, they did. They played very well, but they generally do play well in all their ball games. Sometimes they just get out-talented. If the pace gets fast, certainly they're at a disadvantage. Take a look at the overall statistics. So I think that stat that we just mentioned, 15-0. Tulane expects to lose a lot of times when they play Louisville. They have to overcome the mental attitude. They've got to believe that they can win this ball game. That's their biggest task tonight. And certainly in a game like this, the first 5 minutes, you've got to stay with Louisville and not get blown out early.
Tulane in powder blue, trimmed in green and white. Louisville in white, trimmed in red and black, and we're underway. The Green Wave control the tap. Gary Delph operating at point, picked up by Lancaster Gordon. The Cardinals are in a man-to-man defense at the outset.
And they're playing very, very good overplay defense at the forward position, denying that first entry pass.
The idea, of course, in the Ned Fowler system is get the ball in that guy's hands, but not necessarily at that position. Nice feed to Jenkins. Howard Jenkins off the high post pass from John Williams for the first bucket. It's 2-0 Tulane.
And look at this. Knowing that Louisville is a team that's had turnover problems on the season, Ned Fowler surprises them a little bit, comes out, runs and jumps on them.
You got a fine look at Ned Fowler there. You know, Fowler in his 3 years here has beaten everyone in this league 3 times except Denny Crum's ball club.
And of course, he's had so much success against Memphis State, but this team's been tough on him.
foul away from the ball on Howard Jenkins.
Now, you'll notice, for those of you who are seeing Tulane for the first time, Jenkins is a very good athlete and a very good player. Williams is a player who has continually improved throughout his career. He's a very good player inside. And as you saw in the last offensive possession, when he gets the ball in the key area, he has good enough vision and is a good enough passer that things will open up inside.
That's Billy Thompson along the baseline. Milt Wagner will take it. It's 2-2 as the Green Wave and Cardinals go toe-to-toe here in Cardinal country.
Well, Wagner's getting over 17 a game this year on his career. Have been getting just under 13 points per game. Knew he had to pick up the scoring pace this year and has done so.
John Johnson picked up a lot of pressure defense there from Wagner, and a near turnover resulted. Whitney Dabney finally caught up with it, and Gary Delph controls it from the outside. Nice shot, good presence of mind. He had to double hitch in midair, and Delph put it down. Tulane with a 4-2 lead.
What Louisville likes to do is run the ball down the floor and get it into the corner. Tulane is shutting that off, trying to force them to the middle of the floor.
Billy Thompson with his first bucket makes the score 4-all. And we're 2 minutes deep from Freedom Hall in Louisville. Thompson forcing Dabney to bring the ball up the floor. Howard Jenkins, a good perimeter shooter. Missed that one, and Billy Thompson clears the rafters. The Cardinals are on the run. Nice defensive play by Delph, knocking it out of bounds away from Flash Gordon. Louisville will control from underneath their own hoop.
You can see Tulane does not have a great ball handling team with the lineup they've got in here. They're being pressured, bothered a little bit by the defensive pressure.
A stutter step on Gordon, and Tulane will have it. Ned Fowler was the coach of the year in his first season at Tulane. Gary Delph. He filled the lane nicely. Denny Crum thought he filled it a bit too quickly.
Well, Denny wanted traveling. I'd have to see it again. It was a funny looking move. I don't know if I can say he walked, but it certainly looked funny.
4 out of 6 points for the Green Wave belong to Gary Delph, who's really stabilized that guard position, and he did it against Southern Miss in a game we had about 3 weeks ago.
Well, that had been the biggest trouble for this ball club, was getting a good, solid performance game in, game out at the point guard position. Delph has given them that.
John Johnson with the rebound. That's the junior college player they picked up from Jamestown Community College. He is a native of Columbus. He's got the ball, the lower portion of your screen as you view it.
Now you can see Jones guarding Williams right now. Jones will not come out too far from the basket, so his man on offense will always be the release man under defensive pressure.
Ball is lost out of bounds. Last touch by John Williams. Louisville will control it at 6-4 Tulane. 16:36 left to play in the first half from Freedom Hall.
Of course, Louisville can blow you out during any 5-minute stretch of a ball game. However, I do believe that it was very important for Tulane to get off to this good start.
Wagner looking at a packed-in 1-2-2 zone.
Oh, they're going to give a block on Forrest on that pick.
So Forrest picks up his first. That's the second team foul. And Tulane will go to that.
Has 4 corners. He held a play for it.
Number 4, whether it's corners, we'll have to wait and see. Nice move to the hoop by Delph. A little too strong off the glass. Gordon's got a 2-on-1 break. Manuel Forrest with the slammerino, and it's 6-6. That pass intercepted by Jones. Thompson.
It's all Louisville right now.
8-6 the Cardinals, and they've outscored Tulane in the last minute by 4. Ned Fowler wants more tempo from his bunch right now. The Cardinals, off a missed bucket, will just run the length of the floor. John Williams is fouled by Charles Jones. First foul on Jones, 3rd team foul against Louisville.
This team does a good job of getting the ball inside to John Williams. We saw Florida State go inside so successfully to Gibson last Wednesday when we had that ball game. So if they get it into Williams, they'll be successful.
Williams, a 79% free throw shooter. Averaging 18 points per ball game and coming off a rough sophomore season, but he had some nagging injuries, and he has really been the offense for Ned Fowler thus far this year.
Well, no one else scores in double figures, and there's been a lot of different people in and out of that starting lineup. He's been the mainstay.
We've got a timeout on the floor with 15:31 left to play. In the first half, our score, Louisville 8, Tulane 7.
Good dinner.
Your favorite.
The Red Man reaction. Satisfaction. When it comes time to kick up your heels, you want a beer that won't slow you down.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, don't hold back. Turn it loose tonight. Coors Light. Beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light. Turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
Today, the most exciting new ideas in the hotel business come from Holiday Inn.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
It works much better.
It tastes much better.
Better and better.
Really better.
Holodex 2, the industry's first bimodal reservation system, ensures your room is waiting. Innovations like this make Holiday Inn hotels #1.
We're #1, we're worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
This broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Sports Productions Incorporated. Any transmission or rebroadcast of the contents or descriptions of this game, either in whole or in part, without prior written consent from SPI is strictly prohibited. Announcers for tonight's game are employed and compensated by Sports Productions Incorporated, Dallas, Texas. Lancaster Gordon picked up in a half-court pressure defense by Howard Jenkins. Johnson with the rebound, and Gary Delph has it. Outside of that one run by Louisville, Tulane has controlled things at the outset.
Well, and I'm surprised they're not putting a little more pressure on Delph. He looks to be a little unsure of himself handling the ball.
Knocked out of bounds by Emmanuel Forrest.
And he appears especially to prefer to dribble the ball with his right hand.
Tulane is 3-3 in Metro Conference action. Louisville trying to keep pace with Memphis State at 6-0 coming in tonight. Howard Jenkins.
Now, you got to remember, there were some good players on this Tulane ball club last year. You know, Thompson was a second-round pick by the Cleveland Cavaliers and made that ball club, getting a lot of playing time. Curtis Wallace was a good player at forward for them last year. You'll see that Jenkins is an excellent player, Williams. So, you know, this is not a team that lacks talent. I think sometimes when you play a very controlled offensive game, people tend to think it's because you don't have talented players. Not so.
Nice steal by John Hot Rod Williams. That's his nickname down in Crawfish Country. Tulane with a 1-point advantage. It's 9-8. And they have led throughout much of this first half. The alley-oop for Williams. He's murdered down there. And it's now 11-8. Tulane with a 3-point advantage. Wagner. Charles Jones. That's the first bucket for Jones, the senior from Scuba, Mississippi.
And Jones has really been playing well as of late. 35 rebounds in his last 3 games.
Last touch by Whitney Dabney, and Louisville will have it. They trail Tulane by 1, 11-10. There you see Denny Crum. You've got to look at his counterpart a moment ago, Ned Fowler. He's always holding on to that green towel. But he never waves the towel, he just clinches the towel.
I'll tell you what, that place they play in down there, their home gym, that's some pit, isn't it?
It really is. Manuel Forrest.
Well, he walked. Got away with it.
Rejected by Johnson.
Had that little shuffle step, which so many people will get away with when there's a lot of traffic inside.
especially when you have that kind of quickness as well, right? Jenkins, he got Wagner airborne, but missed the bombardment. And Wagner comes out of there with it.
But take a look at it as they come down the floor. All the Tulane defensive players into the lane to stop the fast break. But as I said, Louisville can beat you in so many ways. That time they hit the jumper.
Manuel Forrest has 4. 12 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first half. The Cardinals have reattained the lead by 1. 12-11 our score. Boy, they're sagging in on John Williams down low, aren't they? They still got it to him, though. Forrest with the rebound.
But you can see the type of offensive pattern they use. No one else around the bucket. When the shot doesn't go in, no one there for the rebound.
Manuel Forrest has found his spot. He has 6 points for the Cardinals. As a team, they have 14 and lead by 3, 14-11. Johnson with a 2-on-1. Nice feed to Dabney. He missed the quick shot, and Billy Thompson got the rebound. Wagner to Billy Thompson. Thompson has 6, and it's 16-11. The Green Wave now has been outscored 6-0 in the last minute and a half.
They'll continue to be patient. Now watch. Eventually, see, this is what they do. They take away all that defensive help on the weak side, and they flash Williams. There you see the whole. Let's see if we can get a look at the whole floor. There you go.
Nice. Yeah, it worked right at the moment they spread it out, and they found the pick inside on Williams. It's 16-13.
And see that Louisville high post offense that Denny Crum brought with him from UCLA. You know, when you talk about Louisville, it's the same story year in, year out. They don't do anything differently. Except this season, he's got the best shooting team he's ever had.
John Johnson has another breakaway. Let's see if he pulls it back out. No, he'll go all the way to the hoop. And the foul is on Wagner. John Johnson has had about 3 of those trips down the floor, and they've been unable to pick up any points out of the situation.
You're absolutely right. They've thrown the ball long against the press. Had a couple 2-on-1 situations, haven't converted yet.
We've got a timeout on the floor with 10:30 left to play in the first half. Our score, Louisville 16 and the Green Wave from the University of Tulane 13.
Mr. Lemming, the package is here. They used Federal Express. Wait!
Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
The worst thing a vaulter can do is lose his nerve. Because if you don't have the guts to keep going back, you're defeated.
7-Eleven is a major sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, giving great athletes like Billy Olson the freedom to become the best.
I just keep one thought in my head. Go over that bar higher than anyone has ever done it before.
7-Eleven. The dream begins with freedom.
I've got enough on my mind without worrying about tires.
We think you've got enough on your mind without worrying about tires. Once you're on Big O tires, they can't cost you another penny. Not for service, repair, or replacement. Because as long as you have legal tread, we'll repair them or replace them free. Even road hazards. We can't solve all your problems, but isn't it nice to have one less to worry about? Once you buy Big O tires, there's nothing left to buy.
Catch the best of Metro Conference basketball on most of these same SPI network stations. This Saturday, February 4th, the South Carolina Gamecocks play host to the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. College basketball at its best on the SPI network. Well, we've had balanced scoring from everyone on the floor for both Tulane and Louisville. Jeff Hall has now come into the game, replacing Lancaster Gordon for Louisville, and Sumter is also checked in. So a couple of substitutions now by Denny Crum.
The difference simply has been in the breakaway situations. somehow they've got to get Jenkins as the release man against that press. Jenkins has enough offensive skills that in a 2-on-1 situation, he'll get a basket for you.
Apparently, Gary Delph picked up a foul away from the ball. That's his first. That's the third team foul against Tulane. Barry Sumter, number 40, is the big youngster down low for Denny Crum's bunch. Number 40 is dancing around now inside the paint. Manuel Forrest.
Look at the way they box out. That ball hit the floor before anybody could pick it up. Good fundamental basketball.
John Williams was there, wasn't he, in a hurry for that rebound.
Now, see, take a look at what they do here. Now, look, see, they take away that defensive help. Now, if you sag in off that point man, they'll throw it to Jenkins, and he can shoot that standstill jumper. Here we go. Put everybody on the right side. See, now, you can't come out and guard him, or you got no weak side help. In and out. Now, if they get the ball to Jenkins right there, he can hit that shot. Whitney
Dabney with his first bucket. 2 points for Dabney and 2 for the Green Wave, and they trail by 1. 16-15 our score.
And I guess maybe we make the mistake, or I make the mistake of saying this is a slow down ball club. This team averages 62 points a game, so they probably picked the pace up a little bit.
Charles Jones fouled by Dabney, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's the first foul on Dabney, and fourth team foul against Tulane. And here's another look.
Now this is a good call. See now, take a look at Delph standing out at the point, watching Jones go move with the ball inside the paint. That point guard has got to get inside and prevent those big guys from putting the ball on the floor.
Jones is the guy you want to foul. He's only averaging 46% from the line. At times he has shot left-handed this year because of an injured right hand. He still has that forefinger on his right hand taped up. Gary Delph picked up his dribble a little too soon. Jones gets the foul on Dabney. So the pendulum swing the other way, and Tulane will control it out of bounds.
Now there's no reason to let Delph beat you down the right sideline, because that's the only hand he can dribble the ball with consistently under pressure. You got to force him to use his left hand.
That was the first foul on Jones, third team foul. John Johnson took steps.
Yeah, I think it's, they got to get Johnson out of there, I think. He's a little shook up right now.
And Clyde Eads will come in, and Ned Fowler must have heard you. I would imagine he'll check in for John Johnson. Eads is the outside shooting threat.
Tell him I didn't cheat, though. he wasn't getting off the bench before I said that, was he?
Wait a minute, was that part of our pact before the season for me to tell on you? Wagner. Manuel Forrest. And John Johnson comes out of there. One thing about Johnson, he does get on the boards for your ball club.
He does. He's just not confident offensively right now.
Gary Delph fouled by Jeff Hall. First foul on Hall, and the fourth team foul against the Cardinals.
Now Eads is the second leading scorer on this ball club, and he gives you some outside shooting too. So when you post up Williams inside, obviously the positions where Johnson has had the ball, Eads is more likely to take and make that shot.
17-15 our score. The Cardinals with a 2-point advantage, and it's been a seesaw battle so far from Louisville.
Tulane has played very confidently. In case you just joined us, they have never beaten Louisville. That mental block is probably the biggest thing they have to overcome in this ball game.
Manuel Forrest with a lot of pressure on Dabney.
Offensive foul.
Dabney is called for a charge. Now they say that he elbowed Manuel Forrest. Ned Fowler didn't exactly see it that way.
It says,
We're the timeout on the floor. Our score is Louisville 17 and Tulane 15.
The makers of Gatorade Thirst Quencher are proud to be the official drink of Metro Conference basketball broadcasts on the SPI Network.
Who's to you the clean of it?
I was just 3 years old when Jim Cook Buick opened, and I guess it was about 15 years ago, while I was still in high school, that my dad first promised that nobody but nobody would sell you a new Buick for less than Jim Cook Buick. While since then, Jim Cook Buick has become Jim Cook Buick Datsun, we moved to a new location downtown at 4th and Breckenridge. That promise still stands true. Nobody but nobody will sell you a new Buick or Datsun for less than Jim Cook Buick Datsun. Nobody.
Back in Louisville, Kentucky, Tim Brando along with Steve Brody for tonight's Metro Conference clash between the Cardinals of Denny Crum and the Green Wave of head coach Ned Fowler. Right now we're in the midst of a dandy. 17-15, Louisville only by 2.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if Tulane ever gets on top, believe me, they'll spread it out and they'll make you play defense all day. Take a look at the field goal percentage. It's, 8 for 16 for Louisville, 7 for 15. So, we've got an even game, a 2-pointer.
Tulane, a team that historically wins their games by getting an advantage early in the second half. Thompson. Eads lost it to Manuel Forrest. Look at Billy Thompson down there. Boy, he is just a terror down low. Clyde Eads collected the foul.
Now everybody's got to stay in there and rebound for Tulane. Now watch, it's going to be, I think it's going to be Eads. Watch, number 12. Or is that Delp?
That's Delp.
Well, earlier somebody ran away on the fast break, didn't stay in there, and that's how they got the initial offensive rebound. So often the guards are important. They've got to get that rebound that caroms off into the near the foul line.
Danny Gauthier is in the game now for Ned Fowler's team, number 14 in blue. Manuel Forrest guilty of traveling, and the Green Wave will own it. And there you see Gauthier. He'll make the inbounds pass. There's some discipline shown by John Williams. He pulled it up in a hurry. Gary Delph picks up the dribble. And he's in trouble because of that. Sumter knocked it away from Williams.
Well, you're right, Tim. You made the point. As a point guard, you can never give up the dribble. You must maintain that dribble. Hey, give him the 5 seconds before you pick it up.
Manuel Forrest now has 8 points, and he's shooting the lights out for Denny Spunch right now. And Forrest has really been a spark plug in the last month for the Cardinals offensively.
Well, they need him to play offense. When they get a performance out of him, they're pretty unstoppable.
Dabney rejected by Sumter. Whitney Dabney looked a bit tentative that time. Nothing tentative at all about Jeff Hall. His first deuce, and it's 21-15. The Cardinals by 6, their largest lead.
Now Hall's first team All-American 6-man squad. One of the best 6 men in the game.
Hall knocks it out of bounds, and Tulane will have it.
You know what he does so well? He comes in off the bench and just shoots the ball immediately and shoots it well, and that's pretty difficult to do when you've sat on the bench and you don't have a sweat worked up.
John Williams.
Got to like him, don't you? He's a good player.
Ned Fowler enjoyed that shot. He's got 7 points, does Williams. It's 21-17, Louisville. Billy Thompson is another guy finding his role. He looks to be now that Rodney McRae sort of player. He may not get 20 points every night, but he'll get double-digit rebounds and points. Gordon with the steal, and he committed the charge thereafter.
Great play by Gauthier.
Let's take a look at Danny Gauthier here.
He steps in there and takes the charge. The only option he had.
That's the 15th foul against Louisville, and the crowd here does not like it. And once again, a capacity crowd here at Freedom Hall to watch their Cardinals, ranked 17th in one poll and 19th in another this week. John Johnson. That's the 4th time they've had a 2-on-1, and Johnson has not been able to convert points out of the situation.
Well, Johnson's just got to stop in that 5 to 7 foot area and shoot that little bank shot. That's what a player who is not confident offensively will do. Over penetrate instead of stopping and taking a good shot, a shot you can make.
Thompson looking for a cutter, finds Charles Jones. Lancaster Gordon.
Oh, that's nice.
That's his first 2 of the evening.
They got a little run going again.
25-17, an 8-point Cardinal cushion. 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in the half. Delph. Foul down low. They're calling a blocking violation on Jones.
Delph saw the opening, took it to the basket, splits the defense. You see Jones move in. It's a good call.
The second foul on Jones, the 16th foul. Both teams now are 1 foul away from putting the opposition in the bonus, but that's a 2-shot violation. Delph will toe the line. Shooting 90% from the free throw line. Those guys always get the shooter's touch, right?
But usually you jinx them when you do that. I don't know how you got away with that.
Delph is averaging just over 3 points per ball game. It's 25-19 as he breaks the Tulane scoring drought. Billy Thompson.
Well, he's got the shooter's touch tonight, doesn't he?
He has 10 points for the Cardinals. They lead by 8 again, 27-19. Gary Delph. Knocked out of bounds by Delph, and Louisville will have it. You have to really admire Gary Delph's play. He is taking charge out there.
He really has. He's got about, I believe he's got 3 buckets, 6 of the 19, and he's played pretty well. Going to get a little break here now.
Kevin Solney coming into the game, replacing Delph. Solney, a 5'10", 140-pound sophomore from New Orleans. His brother, Kirk Solney, is an assistant on the Tulane staff. Nice steal by John Williams.
And those are the kind of turnovers that Louisville has been suffering from. The careless turnover, not the one that's forced by strong defensive play, but just careless turnovers. There you see how they spread that offense out. Now they'll bring everybody, eventually bring everybody on one side of the floor. Flash Williams in and into the post. There he is right now.
Nice move, but Gordon botched things down low. John Johnson stripped by Gordon, and Flash will pick up a foul. That's the second foul on Gordon, and it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for the Green Wave, and Ncaa will go to the line.
And obviously the other advantage in getting the ball into Williams along the baseline, the defense turns their back. When the defense turns their back, it opens up lanes for the rest of the offensive players to flash to the basket. Williams does a good job of passing the ball to him.
I beg your pardon, John Johnson at the line. 48% from the free throw line as Johnson averaging just over 5 points per ball game.
Like I said, Williams, the second leading assist man on the team from that center position.
27-20 with 3.5 minutes left to play. I'm sure Ned Fowler's thinking, let's keep this thing down in the single digits by halftime. And we've got a timeout on the floor. With 3:34 left to play, our score from Louisville, the Cardinals of Louisville 27 and the Tulane Green Wave 21.
Today's game is an exclusive presentation of Sports Productions Incorporated and Lorimar Productions.
To win at this game, your feet need help. They need an edge. I gotta do fast starts, quick stops, jumping, kicking, miles of foot-pounding running. Here's my winning edge. Super tough insoles from Older Readers.
Super Tough. Reduce shock and foot fatigue. It's like wearing thousands of tiny foam springs to help you keep that spring in your step feeling.
And Older Readers' activated charcoal formula keeps even sneakers from smelling like sneakers.
Whatever your game, feel more spring in it. Super Tough Odor Readers for the winning edge.
Shopping for an IRA plan can be confusing, even intimidating, because all IRAs are not the same. Far from it. What you want is an IRA plan with an attractive yield, a wide choice of investment options, and a guaranteed income for life. An IRA plan like the one from Nationwide Insurance. But a Nationwide agent can explain it a lot better than I can. Call one, because when it comes to IRA plans,
Nationwide is on your side.
Welcome Welcome back to Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, at the beginning of the year, Steve, everyone in Louisville was concerned about the loss of the McRae brothers. The forward position was a problem spot, right? Well, tonight, 27 points for Louisville, 18 of those points belonging to the forwards. Thompson has 10, Manuel Forrest has 8.
Well, and once again, when those forwards play well, that's when Louisville's really unbeatable. But they haven't gotten consistently strong offensive play from those two positions.
Ironically, the guards have not played a major role in this game for the Cardinals. Wagner's been on the pines for a while, and Gordon has just moments ago finally scratched. Jeff Hall, the other guard, the man for whom entered the game for Wagner, missed that one, and Tulane's got it.
And with Salney in the ball game, they've got a much quicker point guard who can handle the ball. But on the defensive end, there's a guard who can be they can post up on.
John Johnson just won't give up. Lost out of bounds by Johnson. And they called a foul on Johnson as he went up for the tip in. And we'll take another look at it.
There's always the statistic for blocked shots, but never for the shot that gets intimidated. I think Williams looking for the block a little bit on that situation right there. But you know, when you look at the good teams around the country, one of the things you'll notice in general, they hold their opponents to a very low field goal shooting percentage. Louisville opponents shoot about 43% from the floor. Intimidators inside.
Jones converts on the front end of the 1-and-1. He's 1 for 3 now at the free throw line. It's 28-21 Louisville. John Williams gets the rebound.
3-on-1.
John Johnson.
See, Johnson's just not ready to shoot that shot.
Williams, a rebound to Sumter, and it's a 4-on-2 Cardinal breakaway. Kevin Salney with a little numbers game of his own, and he threw it away. The pass was intended for John Johnson. Ed Fowler did not like that at all.
Now, had Johnson continued to the basket, he would have been wide open for the layup. So it's almost not a bad pass. You have to assume that your forward is going to continue to the basket in a fast break situation. However, Fowler was off the bench. I think he's looking for, you know, the last 2 minutes of the first half. He's in the ball game. He doesn't want it to get wild and more in the last 2 minutes and get run on 6-0.
Manuel Forrest entered the game moments ago for Jones. Basketball has become a hot potato the last couple of trips down the floor for both ball clubs.
And you see that time Salney in a semi-fast break situation, pulls up and brings it outside to set it up.
28-21, John Johnson, he's hacked by Sumter. Billy Thompson was also in on the action, but they did get Sumter. That's the second foul on Sumter as you take a look at Denny Crum. He's won 308 games in his career here.
Well, get the ball in low like that, go up strong. Not a good idea to foul Johnson right now. We've seen all game long that he's been hesitant offensively. In situations like that, you got to make the player stick it in the basket before you're going to put him on the line.
He got that free throw.
And, you know, people on the bench have got to point that out to people. Say, hey, this kid's doesn't look like he wants to shoot the ball. Don't foul him. Of course, obviously, he had it within 3-4 feet of the basket, but a tough shot on that baseline where you can't use the glass.
Louisville's lead now has been evaporating the last couple of minutes. They have not gotten the kind of shots that Denny Crum would have liked. Their lead now down to 5. Billy Thompson is always there to slam the door on the opposition, though, as they make a move. Thompson now has 12 points. He leads all scorers. Good defense by Lancaster Gordon. 30-23 is our score. 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the half.
Ooh. Now that shot surprised me.
John Johnson lost it out of bounds, and Louisville will have it. Just under a minute to play, and Lancaster Gordon and company looking down low. Nice move by Jeff Hall. 32-23. This has got to be a big bucket now for Tulane. 37 seconds left in the half.
Oh, and they're gonna lose it out of bounds.
Last touch by Clyde Eads, and Louisville will control it.
And now with this bucket, they could score the last 6 points of the first half.
And the Cardinals will apparently hold it for the last shot. One of the few times you'll see Louisville hold the ball for 20 seconds at any portion of a ball game.
You're absolutely right. Uh-oh, got careless.
Nice defensive play by Goche. Evan Solnick. Barry Sumter fouled things up for Tulane, and it was last touch by John Williams.
Now, one of the problems here is that the scoreboard is above the center court, so you can't tell how many seconds are left. They needed to get a good shot in that situation. Solnick just was unaware of the time.
The shot does not count. Time had already expired. So at halftime, the Cardinals of Louisville, ranked 17th in one poll and 19th in another, lead Tulane by a score of 32-23. That's our halftime score. We'll be back with halftime activities in just a moment.
For Sheriff Duval, whose car lacked the pickup to make the pickup, there's Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. For absent-minded Professor Doyle, who never remembered to check her oil, Gulf's full-service dealers check it for her. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf self-service makes more sense for less sense.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
Now Washington's better.
Way better.
Nashville's better.
Far better.
Los Angeles is better.
Really better.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Almost every 7 days, a brand new Holiday Inn hotel opens in the locations you want the most. Better hotels in the best locations. That's why we're #1.
We're #1, worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be. We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. Taste how good a cola can be. We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. All that taste is caffeine free.
Hey, America, you're gonna love the great cola taste of regular Pepsi Free. And wait till you try delicious Diet Pepsi Free. There's no Diet Cola like it.
We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. Taste how good a cola can be. We are Pepsi free.
Few Olympic athletes are past 30, but Al Orta won his first of 4 gold medals 28 years ago. Today he's 47 and going for his 5th. 7-Eleven is a major sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, giving great athletes like Al Orta the freedom to prepare for the most important moment of their lives.
So what if I'm twice as old? I'll just go twice as hard.
7-Eleven. The dream begins with freedom.
Welcome back to Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky, where the Louisville Cardinals, unbeaten in Metro Conference play, lead the Tulane Green Wave by a score of 32-23. Well, so far, I would assume, Steve, that Ned Fowler's got to be fairly pleased with things thus far. He's in the hunt after 20 minutes.
And really, when you look back on it, it was one key area. They broke that press so easily and got those breakaway situations and just were never able to take advantage. Like I say, they got to figure out a way to get the ball into Jenkins' hands when they break the press, because he's a player who will pull up on the wing and shoot that jump shot, and he's capable of making it.
All right, we've got a number of halftime activities coming your way. Among other things, we'll be talking with Louisville Athletic Director, a former assistant coach here with Denny Crum, Bill Olson. And right now, we would like to take time out to tell you that we've got a number of Metro Conference games coming up. And, you know, when we talk about those games coming up, Virginia Tech and Memphis State on the 22nd, that one looms largely in the fortunes of many in the Metro.
Well, it looks to be a situation where who gets beat by who on the road amongst those 3 teams. Of course, you've got the post-season tournament and with the automatic bid, but those 3 teams are going to make the NCAA playoff, and I just like Virginia Tech's team, and you know I've been picking them to win the conference from the beginning. Memphis State probably playing as well right now as they have all year, and in fact playing very well for the first time consistently all season.
All right, well, let's take a look now at the 2 fine institutions that are taking part in this endeavor that we're watching tonight. First, a look at Tulane University, and then we'll take a look at the University of Louisville.
The University of Louisville, Kentucky's urban university, serves more than 20,000 students by offering 36 degrees and 146 fields of study. In fact, U of L has educated most of the state's doctors, dentists, and social workers, and a large percentage of its engineers, lawyers, business leaders, public officials, teachers, and other professionals. With emphasis on individual growth and quality education, U of L continues to be a major center for research and scholarship. The University of Louisville, it's never been more important.
Welcome to Tulane University in New Orleans, where more than 10,000 students come every year to learn from 900 faculty members and from each other. Since our founding in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana, we have grown to include 11 schools and colleges. Tulane has been ranked one of the 24 most highly selective private universities in the country, and we're among the top 30 in the money we spend on research each year. It's learning, it's research, it's teaching, it's serving the community, it's Tulane.
Subscribe now to Metro News, the publication for all serious college basketball fans. The 16-page, 30-week Metro News is the only place to get an in-depth look at one of America's top conferences. From tip-off to tip-in, Metro Conference basketball has it all. You'll receive all the facts and figures as well as the profiles and inside stories that make the Metro. Subscribe now by sending a check or money order for $14.95 for 30 big issues to Metro Conference, 229 Peachtree Street Northeast, Kane Tower, Suite 2300, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. We're at halftime here at Louisville, and our score, the Louisville Cardinals 32 and the Tulane Green Wave 23. We'll be back after these words from your local stations.
At B&K Instant Printing, we pride ourselves in getting your job done quickly. Here's Carmelo to show you how we do it. "95% of all jobs are ready within 24 hours, sometimes even 24 seconds. Right, Carmelo?"
Let B&K save the day. B&K.
Your Coors now, Charleston. Your Coors now, Louisville. Your Coors now in Lexington. The best of the Rockies is here. Cold, fresh, clean, Huntington. You'll taste what we mean. Cincinnati, Rocky Mountain Gold. You got it. The best of the Rockies is here.
The clean of the Rockies. The fresh of the Rockies. The best of the Rockies, brewed the Coors way, natural and pure. So enjoy it all in Coors and Coors Light.
Coors to you, Owensboro, all night through Bowling Green. Now it's true, so celebrate. The best of the Rockies is
Coors and Coors Light.
the best of the Rockies is yours.
There's only one place on television where the dedicated sports fan can enjoy nonstop action all day long, and that's every Saturday on Sports View 41. From 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., Sports View 41 brings you the best from every corner of the world of sports. Olympic action, live college basketball, thoroughbred racing, auto racing, and everything in between. Great series and special one-time only events. They're all right here, so remember, if it's sports excitement you're looking for, you'll find it every Saturday on Sports View 41.
We're back at halftime at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky, and with us is Bill Olson, the athletic director of the University of Louisville. And you've got to be very excited about the University of Louisville and your career as athletic director now. You've seen this basketball program at its greatest, and you were also a part of it on the bench with Denny Crum.
For 11 years, I was Denny's assistant before becoming athletic director, and probably one of the highlights of my life was being a part of the national championship year in 1980. So it's quite a different scene right now, being an administrator in athletics, but the basketball part of it was a lot of fun.
This has got to be a fun team for you, Bill, because Lancaster Gordon and Charles Jones represent the final recruiting class that you were a part of while on Denny's staff.
It's a fun team to watch for maybe that reason and other reasons. I think that this team's come a long way under Denny, and Lancaster and Charles being seniors and seeing them progress during their careers at Louisville has been self-gratifying for me, because I thought that they had excellent potential when we recruited them, and to see them develop and be leaders like they are is personally satisfying.
I know you're also enthused about the great reconstruction plan that you have underway here at Freedom Hall, so that more Kentuckians can come in and watch the Louisville Cardinals play basketball.
Well, there's demand for the seats here, and it's going to be nice next year to have over 19,000 seats here in Freedom Hall. Presently, we have 16,600, so we'll be able to generate some new income, and more people will be able to come and see us play in person. That's going to be good.
Under Coach Weber, your football program is taking off as well, isn't it?
I think that it is. I think we've been very ambitious in our schedule in recent years. We've played this past year Pittsburgh and Miami, Florida, and SMU, and we're going to continue to play quality teams in the future. And our attendance was up, our income's up, and football looks very promising too. And I'm hoping that the year that they are having in recruiting this year will help them on the field next year.
Athletic Director Bill Olson of Louisville, we want to thank you for stopping by and talking with us tonight.
Timmy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
At halftime, our score from Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky, the Cardinals of Louisville 32 and the Green Wave from the University of Tulane 23.
Today's telecast is being brought to you by Coors Light. So turn it loose tonight. By Gulf Oil. At Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. And by Holiday Inn Hotels, a better place to be. For worldwide reservations, just call 800-HOLIDAY.
And by WDRB TV 41, your headquarters for the best in college basketball. This season bringing you 40 big games from the Metro, Southeastern, and Big Ten conferences. And the home of Sports View 41, the newest concept in all-day television sports programming, seen every Saturday from 9 to 5.
When it comes time to kick up your heels, you want a beer that won't slow you down.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, don't hold back. Turn it loose tonight. Coors Light. Beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light. Turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
I am the lone piper calling in the clan. I am the words of Jane Austen. I am the proud regiment of the Queen's household cavalry. I am the warmth and smiles of an island people. I am British Caledonian Airways. I am super executive, a special class of service for the business traveler. I will give you the comfort and service you'd expect from the airline that never forgets you have a choice. I am the best of Great Britain. I am British Caledonian Airways.
Baseball star Jim Palmer.
I'll never worry about dandruff again. Sound impossible? Not with Tegrin shampoo. Tegrin has special medicine, so I don't worry about itching or flaking, and I don't worry about dandruff, even if I don't shampoo for a day or two. The Tegrin test convinced me. Tegrin controlled my dandruff not just 1 day or 2 days, but 3 days. I don't worry about dandruff anymore, so why should you? Use Tegrin. Tegrin works day after day after day.
Sometimes you know who your competition is, even before you run. The one who's willing to push to the limit. For them, Gatorade Thirst Quencher is standard equipment. Because when you give it all you've got, Gatorade helps give it back. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. it shows you've come to play.
We are back at halftime. There you see the score. The Tulane Green Wave trailing Louisville by a score of 32-23. The shot percentages in this game indicate that the game should be closer. 50% from the floor at one point for Tulane. They're now shooting 36. So, yes, indeed, they are in the ball game, even though they're shooting that poorly.
Well, and once again, it was shots close to the basket, which hurt them. They had a few blocked. Were intimidated a couple of times, but certainly it comes down to field goal percentage sometimes.
Rebounds, of course, there's a big discrepancy there. The Cardinals owning the boards right now. They're eating glass. They've got 19 to Tulane's 9. Turnovers are even at 9 apiece. From the free throw line, well, they're sort of even there, although Tulane's had many more opportunities at the charity line than had the Cardinals. There are the leading scorers. Williams has 7. Delph has 6 for Tulane. Billy Thompson and Manuel Farsh, those two forwards that we spoke about during the first half, really the story for Denny's bunch.
Well, especially Billy Thompson, 6 for 7 from the field. He's really having a good night. Both played 17 minutes, 8 rebounds between them, 20 points. They're the difference.
You know, when you look at this ball game, you sense that Tulane is going to stay close. We'll be back with the second half of tonight's game from Louisville. Our score at halftime, the Louisville Cardinals 32, Tulane 23. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
The best of NCAA college basketball, the Metro Conference. This season on this SPI.
If you want something new,
Introducing Arby's Real Croissant Breakfast.
our breakfast is for you.
Light, flaky, buttery croissants.
You like to look for more.
Fresh eggs, crisp bacon, sausage, ham, mushrooms, and cheese.
We say bonjour. So welcome to Arby's. You're right where you belong.
Arby's Real Croissant Breakfast.
Why would anyone buy a mattress set at a department store or furniture store when they can save money and take advantage of the free 7-way buyer protection plan only at Mattress Warehouse?
You sure are calling them close, Bob. Right, Rich, but you'll never foul out or get double dribbled at Double Mott. We give you a good break every time at Double Mott Chevrolet Honda.
Creamer's Smoke Shop offers you one-on-one personal service by a crew of professional tobacconists.
We're Creamer's Smoke Shop.
Denny has got to feel, and you look at Ned Fowler now, Denny has got to feel that this ball club has been sort of a Jekyll and Hyde act. I mean, they played so well a week ago when we were here, and then they lose to Marquette and then have to struggle to get by Southern Mississippi. Can you figure it out, Steve?
If I could figure it out, he'd probably hire me for the remainder of the season. It gets to the point where it's up to the players. Do you want to win or don't you?
Well, the bottom line is all that happened in January. He's now in February, and he's got a great standing there. Tulane, there you see their season record, 11-6 overall, 3-3 in Metro Conference play. Ned's got to feel pretty good that he can shoot 36% and only be 5 buckets behind Louisville.
Yeah, he should be closer. He should be closer. They just need a little more offense out of those forwards. Johnson has to settle down when he gets the ball. Dabney's got to shoot the ball. I don't know how many. I think Dabney only shot it a couple times, made one nice jumper.
Right, off the baseline. We're underway now. The Cardinals own it to start things here in the second half. Nice feed down low, Manuel Farsh. The feed came from Charles Jones, and it was a nice one. And there's another turnover.
I call timeout right now.
And very quickly, Louisville up by 13. Williams ran the baseline, but it didn't help.
I call timeout right now.
Wagner with another easy bucket, and Fowler is calling for a timeout, and he does get it. And in a stretch of 38 seconds, Louisville scored 8 unanswered points, and Tulane never got it past midcourt. Our score, Louisville 38, Tulane 23.
The best of NCAA college basketball, the Metro Conference. This season on this SPI network station.
To
get ahead in business these days, you've got to be fast. You not only have to be fast, you have to be faster than the next guy. And as fast as you are, there's always someone else who thinks he's faster than you. And the faster you go, the faster everyone else tries to get ahead of you, and the faster you have to go to keep up with the fastest. And no matter how fast you go, everyone everywhere is always trying to be faster. So you have to be really fast, tremendously fast, incredibly fast, or you fall behind someone else who is faster. Faster than Jimmy, faster than Joey, faster than Janie, and faster than
To get ahead in business these days, you have to go with a company who invented the whole idea of fast. Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
Hoppity toe, wickety whack, flippity flop, Jiminy criminy, whoopity scoopity, zoom it, move it, boom it, rocket.
The Town and Country Real Estate Agency tells us that if it weren't for their ad in the GTE Yellow Pages, they wouldn't have about 50% of their business. So like Town and Country, why don't you use good business sense and take a big visible ad in the GTE Yellow Pages and watch your business grow.
What a difference a minute makes. Tulane now trailing by 15. They trailed at halftime by 9. And we have not yet completed a minute's worth of the second half.
And Louisville changed their press after the timeout. They went into that 2-2-1, which they generally play. They opened up the second half in a tight man-to-man. And like I say, it comes down to if the players want it or not. They came out in the second half, had no secret in coaching. You just told them what defense to play, and they went out and played it well.
And another turnover.
He's gonna get it. Woo!
Boy, he had one of those last week against Florida State. He threw it up from his hip pocket. And everyone anticipated the same. Another flash from the past of Lancaster Gordon.
There you see the foul. He's strong enough to hold on to the ball, went up with it, almost got it to roll in.
Gordon is absolutely incredible in the transition. He could be in a one-on-two situation and make something good happen.
Well, I said that, last Wednesday when we had him here that I think he's the #1 big guard in the country, and I think there's a lot of people around the country who would agree with that.
And he's been playing with a touch of bursitis. They've had to drain his knees after many of the games here in Louisville. He got one of the two. It's 39-23.
Let me qualify that. I think he's the #1 senior big guard in the country. So if nobody goes hardship, I think he'll be the first big guard drafted.
Gary Delp split that double team nicely. Tulane in bad need of a bucket here. They're trailing by 16. The game has been much closer than the score might indicate. Manuel Fars picked up the foul inside the paint. Whitney Dabney, the man for whom was fouled.
And let me tell you, you get a workout when you play Tulane defensively because they post up every single time down the floor and take away your help. Now, Louisville will post you up too, but there's plenty of defensive help in that 1-2-2 set that they run. Here, they just clear out the weak side, and you've got to work to front your man as the ball changes from side to side. There you see that take away that weak side help eventually.
Well, they're having difficulty getting the ball in their scorer's hands. Dabney's got it. He's rejected by Thompson, but in so doing, Thompson bodied up on Dabney to collect the foul. Here's another look.
Well, not much of an argument from Thompson, but it would look to be a pretty decent block from right there.
That's the second foul on Thompson and the second team foul, and Dabney goes to the line. Dabney shooting 63% from the line.
The one thing Dabney has not done when he gets the ball inside, he doesn't get the ball on the glass quick enough. He doesn't appear to be a real quick jumper. Maybe he just hesitates a little too much, but you get it inside against a Louisville ball club, you got to get that ball on the glass into the basket before they jump.
Just a freshman, they expect great things from him. He is a native New Orleanian. Wagner finds Jones.
Now that's what Louisville does best. When they bring the ball down the floor, they run it to the corner. The first man who gets down the floor runs to the block. However, that was the first time that Tulane gave up that type of basket.
41-23. It's an 18-point Cardinal lead. And they got 8 points of that 18-point lead in the first 38 seconds of the half. John Williams connects, and it's 41-25. That's 9 for John Hot Rod Williams.
And you made the good point. The first time he's had the ball in scoring position, and he connects.
Nice feed to Wagner. No harm, no foul as Johnson hit the hardwood.
Well, you couldn't convince Johnson there was no harm, but certainly there was no foul called.
Jones has got it. The feed is to Forrest. And it's an offensive foul against Wagner as Johnson got position.
That good defensive play and good call. Both officials got it. He just put his shoulder down. Got to shoot that little fadeaway jumper off the glass from that position.
Gary Delph is the guy that they want to bring the ball up the floor, and he is triple teamed, and Gordon takes it away. Boy, I'm telling you, the bucket looked like the ocean for a moment for Gordon as Ned Fowler shouts instructions.
Well, I think Gordon had all kinds of delusions of grandeur going through his mind as he looked at the basket that time in a 2-on-1 and forgot to handle the ball.
41-25 with 16:46 to play in the ball game. Howard Jenkins.
Jenkins has got to be able to make that shot in the second half here if they're going to have any chance of coming back.
And the foul is on Billy Thompson. I talked with Ned Fowler today, and he told me that in order to beat Louisville, at least one of your wing players has got to be shooting lights out from the perimeter in order to beat them.
No question. And now he's got his best two wing shooters in the ball game, and Eads at the foul line and Jenkins. Move Jenkins back to the guard position. Got a pretty big lineup in there now.
Eads has been bothered with some injuries of his own. He had the flu, and you want to call that an injury, and he also had a staph infection under his right eye, and he was unable to start for about a week. Barry Sumter coming into the game now, replacing Manuel Forrest for Louisville. That's tough to play basketball when you've got a staph infection closing your eye. He missed them both, and Billy Thompson gets the rebound. Lancaster Gordon. Thompson. Sumter. Charles Jones was injured somewhere in the middle of that mayhem down underneath. Mark McSwain is about to come in for it. And you got to give credit to Sumter that time as he bodied up, got his position, and got the tip in. That's the first bucket for Barry Sumter.
One of the things I've noticed, now that we've seen them play 2 weeks in a row, this team probably doesn't get the credit they deserve for being a good passing team. You saw them move the ball into the zone, out, around the horn, and of course everybody knows they're tremendous offensive rebounders, but they do pass the ball very well.
Ernest Ogburn clocking into the game, number 50 in blue, in for John Johnson. Another turnover. And McSwain commits the charge. Boy, Tulane is just totally frustrated in trying to inbound the basketball.
Well, what they've done now, you see, if we can get a wide look at the court, they've got Sumter at the half-court stride to try and prevent that breakaway pass that they broke the press with in the first half.
They got it done that time, and Gary Delph controls it. Williams. Hot Rod has 11 points. And that's his first bucket here in the second half. 16 minutes to play in the game.
Now, Williams has touched it twice and shot it twice and made both of them.
Jones apparently not seriously injured. He stayed in the game as Wagner hit. Milt Wagner has 6.
See now, once again, get that wide view, and you can see Sumter at half court preventing that long pass. Well, they ran one guy deep and occupied Sumter. Got it to Williams.
Gary Delph controls the basketball. Nice alley-oop to Williams. Ogburn's with the rebound. And John Williams just continues to tip it around. have to give a big E for effort to John Williams for keeping it alive, but he didn't scratch. Louisville by 18. Pretty dominating rejection there by John Williams. Ooh. Ooh. Ned Fowler liked it. Fowler in his career has won 49 games at Tulane. He was looking for his 50th tonight. I say was. He still has an opportunity to get it. His team trailing by 18 with 14 minutes to play in the ballgame. A foul is on Howard Jenkins as he went over the back of Charles Jones. That's the first foul on Howard Jenkins. Second team foul. Here's another look at that reach in.
Of course, we noted earlier in the year that Tulane did score over 100 points in one ball game this year. It looks like he's going to need that offense here as the second half wears on. I mean, this is not a good position for Tulane to be in. They need that lead. That's how they win. They get the lead, spread you out, make you play the entire court defensively, and throw it into Williams.
That's the way they beat Southern Miss and South Carolina, really, in Columbia back on Monday. That was a big win for them, and they're on an 8-day road trip, this Tulane team. They go to Blacksburg next. Lancaster Gordon.
We saw what Charles Jones does, and that's how Kentucky plays the zone. They lob the ball into Turpin or Bowie, and then they kick it right back out to their jump shooters. The only problem Kentucky's having right now, they're not shooting well.
Clyde Eads with his first bucket. Tulane will need much more of that. They trail by 18, 47-29. Wagner. Eads inside to Aubry, and he missed the trip shot.
See, now he got it up on the glass in a hurry, so the shot wasn't blocked, but just couldn't make the basket.
Lancaster Gordon with his 9th point, and Tulane now trails Louisville by 20, and that's the largest lead of the game for the Cardinals.
Well, if Tulane watches film of this ball game, Johnson should take a look at what Gordon just did on that break. Stop and learn to shoot that little jump shot instead of having to take it to the basket every time.
The foul was on Milt Wagner rather than Sumter. Interesting that we see those two. Wagner is the card of the Cardinals, and he nicknamed Barry Sumter Big Smooth.
Big Smooth.
Well,
this is Tulane at their best.
There you see both Wagner and Sumter.
How many coaches around the country would like to have the luxury of a center that shoots, what, 79% from the free throw line? What's he at now?
Yes, 79% is what he's shooting from the line, and 56% from the floor. Not bad at all. They want him to gain more weight. They'd like to see him more physical in the next year. But in all fairness, he's done everything to gain weight. Some guys just don't keep weight, do they?
No, they really don't. He's had trouble with that. But I think, too, that even if he doesn't gain the weight, he certainly needs to gain some strength.
49-31, Louisville by 18. 12.5 minutes left from Freedom Hall. Lancaster Gordon. Well, this was about the time last week when he got cranked up. He's got 11 right now. Last week, we're referring to that blowout of Florida State, 95-71.
Oh.
Wagner came down hard on the back of Delph, and there was some concern on the Louisville bench about the way Wagner fell. He's all right, though.
Well, Delph just had no chance to get out of the way, and if he'd have tried to get off a shot, which you should normally do, then there may have been a serious injury on that play.
By the way, Lancaster Gordon has just surpassed Junior Bridgman as the 13th all-time leading scorer in Louisville history.
Ulysses Junior Bridgman.
Right.
Ulysses. It'll be Tulane ball.
That's right. So it could be a three-point opportunity, and Ned Fowler is up clapping his hands, urging his Tulane team on. 51-32 is our score.
Got to make that one. Now you can see that strong overplay defense.
Milt Wagner with the near steal. A nice pass to Jenkins. Tulane having problems right now finding the hoop. And they've had those problems in the second half. Oh. Jones went up like Charles Atlas, but it didn't fall. And then Tulane has it. Gary Delph brings the ball back up.
Obviously now you're in a catch-22 situation. You've got to get points in a hurry. The faster pace you play with, the more you play into Louisville's hands. Now if they can get it into Williams and go to the foul line and score with the clock stop, obviously a better chance of getting back in the ball game.
Jeff Hall in the game now for Lancaster Gordon. That's the second foul on Barry Sumter. And Louisville now has put the opposition in the bonus. Tulane, John Williams at the line for 2. He has 13 points so far. Forrest and Thompson about to come back into the game.
In the game for Louisville, Billy Thompson, number 55, Daniel Forrest, number 30, replacing Charles Jones, number 33.
Billy Thompson has had quite a first half, and he, along with Forrest, replaced Smart, McSwain, and Charles Jones. So a nice offensive trip for the Green Wave as they pick up 3 and have cut the deficit to 17. Our score with 11:28 left to play from Freedom Hall in Louisville. The Louisville Cardinals 51 and the Tulane Green Wave 34.
Today's game is an exclusive presentation of Sports Productions Incorporated and Lower Mar Productions.
For the millers whose car ran on and on, Gulf's Extra Octane helps stop engine run-on. For stuntman King Colton, Gulf's car wash will help clean up his act. For David Garcia, whose diesel rabbit couldn't get hopping, the Gulf screen filters his fuel for starts quick as a bunny.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you.
It was 15 years ago that my dad first promised that nobody but nobody would sell you a new Buick for less than Jim Cook Buick. While Jim Cook Buick is now Jim Cook Buick Datsun, that promise still stands true. Any day of the week, Jim Cook Buick Datsun will sell you this brand new 1984 Buick Skyhawk for only $8,184. Remember, nobody but nobody will sell you a new Buick or Datsun for less than Jim Cook Buick Datsun. Nobody.
Tonight's game is sponsored in part by Bahamas Air, Pilot House Hotel, and Tropical Tours. For more information about the best in sunny tropical vacations, call 1-800-327-5118.
Quick look at the stats, Tim. 3 for 9 from the field for Tulane in this half. Not going to get back in the game with those with that shooting percentage.
Jim Brando along with Steve Grody from Freedom Hall. We've got just over 11 minutes to play. Tulane down by 17. And they're packing in a 2-3 zone now against Louisville.
A lot of teams would be tempted to pull it out and make you play man-to-man, but Louisville, I would guess, will just go right at the zone, continue to play their game.
Jeff Hall is operating at point guard now. Many times, the Cardinals have great success with 3 guards on the floor with Wagner, Gordon, and Hall in the backcourt.
Of course, Gordon at 6'5", and he's got maybe 6'6", but he's got such long arms, and he can jump so well, he can play that small forward spot.
John Williams has quietly become a factor offensively. He's got 17. And all of the buckets in the second half for Tulane. It's 51-36.
Well, we saw Florida State do this last week. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, got a good offensive surge midway through the second half. Made it a little bit of a ball game before Louisville just exploded and ran away with it. But Louisville can get careless, and they'll turn it over. I mean, they average about 18 turnovers a game.
Billy Thompson down low. Boy, do they control the boards. Gary Delp gets away. Nice feed to Ogburns. Ernest Ogburns with his first bucket. 51-38 is our score, and Tulane has taken a 20-point deficit and cut it to 13.
Boy, they needed that one right there.
Delp with a pickpocket job, and then a little deja vu for Milt Wagner as he stole the ball right back.
Now, Ogburns looks to be a much more aggressive offensive player. Takes it confidently to the basket as he did just then. And as we mentioned earlier, he gets it on the glass in a hurry.
Milt Wagner. Milt Wagner has 8. It's 53-38. Louisville by 15. Just over 9 minutes to play from Louisville.
That was a big swing right there. Big 4-point swing.
Oh, Ogburns missed it off the glass. David Dominique just came into the game, and he controls it for Ned Fowler's 5. Dominique is a freshman from New Iberia, a blue chip prospect. Eves.
Nice cross-court pass, and as you mentioned, Dominique, a highly publicized freshman who, like Dabney, has looked to give this program great things.
Dominique with a rebound. And this youngster likes to run. He came from a running program, and Fowler has tried.
Which makes you wonder why he went to Tulane, really. Although, I think Ned's willing to open it up when he feels he has the talent to open it up and win with it.
Right now, it's a case of Dominique trying to learn Fowler's game. And Fowler admits readily that Dominique is making progress. They'd like for him to become a little stronger as well.
You look around the country, and you know what's funny? It occurs to me that the most difficult position for freshmen to play is the forward spot. You see him more at center, primarily because there just aren't many real good centers, and a good freshman comes in, will get a chance to play and develop. But you see your freshmen primarily in the center position and at the point guard. I think probably because kids that are only going to grow to be 6'2", 6'3", mature as athletes much faster than a 6'8", 6'9" kid will.
Nice rebound by Williams.
Boy, now they're just missing these easy layups.
Ned Fowler can't believe it. Hall lost out of bounds by McSwain. So while Tulane is frustrated offensively, the Cardinals having problems converting as Lancaster Gordon comes in.
This should be a 9-point game right now. They just missed 2 easy baskets.
We've got a timeout on the floor with 7 minutes and 37 seconds left from Louisville. Our score, the Cardinals 53, the Tulane Green Wave 40.
The makers of Gatorade Thirst Quencher are proud to be the official drink of Metro Conference basketball broadcasts on the SPI Network.
With all these points, the record's mine, that's clear. Let's buy our man a nice cold beer. Bull! Bull! You get a big bowl new when the bull is here. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull will give you more things than beer. So don't say beer, just say bull. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. Hey, the bull really scores! No one doesn't like the bull.
A dramatic showing of some of the most magnificent furniture available, like this exquisite pure silk sofa, the finest tables and dining room suites, a breathless array of sophisticated room settings in contemporary, classical, and traditional styles. And during Furniture Showroom's premier sale, everything in the entire Henry Don collection is now 15 to 30% off. Bring the elegance of Henry Don into your home. See the new Henry Don galleries at Furniture Showrooms, Shelbyville Road in Middletown.
Catch the best of Metro Conference basketball on most of these same SPI Network stations next Wednesday night. February 8th, Southern Mississippi takes on Louisville at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. College basketball at its best on the SPI Network. Welcome back to Freedom Hall, everyone. Tim Brando along with Steve Grody. Tulane down by 13, Steve. Turnovers again, even in both halves. And the Green Wave trying to make a move now.
Well, the only place that really hurt Tulane, of course, was right at the beginning of the second half. 3 quick turnovers against that press, and they Louisville jumped out to a quick 15-point lead. They should get a 2 here. Oh!
Under normal circumstances, maybe, but not with Charles Jones.
Well, what you got to do against a shot blocker is you got to shoot the reverse layup.
Gary Delp with the quick bucket, and Tulane now has cut the deficit to 11. They have trailed by as many as 20 in this half. And really, that is the difference right now. They trailed by 9 at halftime, and then we're down by 20 after that big spurt of 8-0 in the first 38 seconds of the half. That's the telling stat in this ball game right now.
Well, the other key ingredient is that Louisville, like we said, against the zone, could just keep it outside and force them to play man-to-man, but they're attacking the zone, making mistakes.
And it's been a while since the Cardinals have been able to draw iron. Auburn's rejected by Thompson on the baseline. Sometimes Billy just says, not this time, not on my home floor.
Well, you gotta throw that bounce pass in there, but that time Williams was just a little bit too close to Auburn's. He couldn't get that pass around him. Or was that Dominique?
It was David Dominique, and Auburn's was the man that was guarded closely in that situation. Both Auburn's and Dominique have left the game. John Johnson and Howard Jenkins are back in for Tulane. That's Jenkins with the ball now. Williams. John Williams now has 19 points in the game. And Tulane has cut the lead back to 9 with 6 minutes left to play. This team will just not be blown out, will they?
And you were right. You get the feeling that this one was going to be a close one, and it's turned into a close one. But Denny Crum's the kind of coach that refuses to call timeouts in this kind of a situation. You saw against Houston in the tournament last year. Even if a team starts running it on him, he won't call timeout. It's the old John Wooden philosophy. He doesn't want to give the other team that psychological edge by forcing him to call a timeout. Now they are running a little bit of a delay game.
Well, there was a poll taken of many coaches recently, and Denny Crum was right there in the top 5 when it came to bench coaching, and that surprises absolutely no one.
Eddie Sutton was on that list. I had one of their games over the weekend, and the coaches know who's who. Those are the polls you listen to.
Manuel Forrest controls it. Lancaster Gordon has it now, and Tulane is in a man-to-man. They recognize that they've got to get the basketball back as quickly as possible with 5 minutes left to play. 53-44 from Freedom Hall in Louisville.
And I would not have expected Louisville to do this until they started playing poorly. You know, Denny Crum says, hey, if you're not going to play well, then I'm not going to let you play. Stall the ball away now. Just stall the game away. The reserves hate this because they were looking at getting a lot of playing time.
The foul was on John Johnson, pardon me. Clyde Eads collects the foul rather than Johnson. And that's the first foul on Eads and the third team foul.
Well, you see the first chance that Thompson got to take it to the hoop, saw a little break in the defense, and they'll still attack the basket should they get an opening, but for the most part, they're going to try to run some time.
Danny Goche in for Clyde Eads now. Goche, the quicker of the two athletes, and obviously that's why Ned has inserted him into the ball game. Thompson. Manuel Forrest went up the back of Jenkins, and will go back the other way, and it's a 1-on-1 situation. There's Kirk Solney, and he is the assistant in charge of flashcards. They flashcard from the bench. Solney is the brother of Kevin Solney, one of the guards for it.
Well, they've been using those cards for the last 3 years to call offensive formations. Not a bad idea, I guess. The only problem is that when your offense is running away from your bench, the point guard's got to look behind him to pick up the offense, and that can be dangerous sometimes.
There's a look at Denny Crum. Has had 5 Final Four appearances, 3 of the last 4 years. He ranks second among active coaches, 5th all-time in winning percentage. He's won about 80% of his games.
Disastrous miss right there.
Really was, and It's 53-44. Louisville still with a 9-point advantage and 4.5 minutes to play.
And with 3 guards in the game now, they're just going to play keep away.
Lancaster Gordon. He anticipated a big play and came away with nada, senor. John Williams.
He walked. Oh! He walked, but then I didn't think it was an offensive foul. Let's watch right here. Well, close to a walk. Tough call to make right there. You know, the officials are always going to miss some. We get a chance to look at the replay and can't even tell on offensive fouls sometimes, and that was a real close one.
The end result was a charge. And still, Tulane faces a 9-point deficit with time fleeting away. Under 4 minutes left.
Well, this is the guy to foul. Either take it away from him or fouling. Jones is the guy you want on the line.
And he's really the only poor foul shooter on the floor right now. Everyone else around 65% or above. Jones is shooting at 46% from the line.
Of course, you know, he had that real bad game against North Carolina State on national TV, and you know, he shoots 56 on the year, so, or on his career, and 58 on the year. So he's not that bad a free throw shooter. And they'll tell you he shoots about 65 to 70% in key situations.
Ned Fowler had to go to midcourt to instruct his team to foul, and Delph collects the foul on Jeff Hall. And we've got a timeout on the floor. As we look at the foul committed by Gary Delph on Jeff Hall. Our score with 3:16 remaining is Louisville 53 and Tulane 44.
Good dinner.
Your favorite.
The red man reaction. Satisfaction.
Introducing new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more than any other gel. More lubricants. Better beard setup. More lubricants. Smooth takeoff. More lubricants. For the closeness and comfort you want in a shave, get new Gillette Foamy Gel. The gel that gives you more.
Bluegrass has it, positively has it. Bluegrass has it today.
Get a $2,000 discount on any brand new 1984 Cougar in stock with air conditioning, automatic transmission, power steering, brakes, seats, door locks, and windows. Come to Bluegrass Lincoln Mercury for a $2,000 discount on any brand new 1984 Cougar in stock.
Bluegrass has it, positively has it. Bluegrass has it.
4301 Shelbyville Road.
Welcome back to Freedom Hall. Tim Brando along with Steve Grody. There you see the Tulane huddle. Ned Fowler talking turkey with his bunch. Maurice Malcolm is going to check into the game. He too is another off guard, so he's going with a faster lineup and a smaller lineup as well. Malcolm is a sophomore from Miami, Florida. You know, when you stop and consider that Tulane has shot poorly in this game and gave up 8 unanswered points in 38 seconds, it's amazing that they're down 9 with 3 minutes left. It really is.
Like I say, there are a lot of good teams in the country that people don't hear about. And take a look at Tulane's record, and they don't look like an outstanding club. But if you've watched this game tonight, you can see they've got a lot of good athletes, and they can play basketball.
Malcolm picks up the foul. That's the first foul on Malcolm, and Tulane still has another foul to give before Louisville goes to the line with a 1-on-1 situation. Emmanuel Forrest will inbound the basketball. Jeff Hall's got it now. We're under 3 minutes to play. Delph with the near steal of Jeff Hall. Gary Delph has played well tonight. He has not had many breathers, and he's hung in there.
And after a shaky start where he didn't handle the ball well with his left hand, he's handled it well the rest of the ball game.
The foul is on John Johnson. It's a blocking call, and we'll take another look.
Well, he almost gets in here and to take the charge, anticipates well. said, what's that famous, you make the call.
Once again, Grody faces the pressure of color analyst work, right?
I tell you. Coaches get mad at us for second guessing them. We get second guessed by coaches, and now they got TV sports writers. They got guys second guessing color commentary. Hey, please leave us alone. We're just here to have some fun.
Wagner with the charge, and Maurice Malcolm got the position that time.
If I had a microphone, I'd like to ask Wagner right here. He's right in front of me.
You're not going to say you make the call again, are you?
Well, that's a tough one. You make the call.
Well, the crowd does not like it at all. 2 minutes and 18 seconds are left, and Tulane tries to get within
game. Look out now. It's been a long time since Louisville. He walked, double dribble. You know, it's been a long time since Louisville put a point on the board.
From the floor, you betcha. It's 53-46, and Denny Crum now
finally gives in, calls timeout.
And does call timeout. Stay with us. We may have a doozy underway from Freedom Hall with just over 2 minutes to play. The Cardinals by 7.
Chrissy! We're out of ink.
I know.
But didn't I tell you yesterday to have some sent from Seattle?
Yes.
Well, why isn't it here? Didn't you use Federal Express?
No.
Well, why not?
Because you told me to save a little money.
But it isn't here.
But I saved you money.
But we're out of ink. Chrissy, you call us a newspaper. Look at it. You call us a newspaper. That's an absolute...
Next time, send it Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. Taste how good a cola can be. We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. And all that taste is caffeine free.
Hey, America, you're gonna love the great cola taste of regular Pepsi free. And wait till you try delicious Diet Pepsi free. There's no Diet Cola like it.
We are Pepsi free, caffeine free. Taste how good a cola can be. We are Pepsi free.
We are back at Freedom Hall, and the situation is this. Tulane, down by as many as 20 in this half, having given up 8 unanswered points in 38 seconds in this half, is down by 7 with just over 2 minutes to play in this ball game. And very much in the hunt. They will own the ball right here and can cut it to 5.
And something tells me they'll look inside at John Williams.
Ned Fowler was a winner at junior college. He was a winner in high school where he posted 279 wins, and he's certainly been a winner at Tulane.
Uh-oh, here it is.
Hot Rod Williams cuts it to 5, and a beautiful inbounds pass from Delph. That one drawn up on the sidelines and drawn up nicely.
I was a little surprised that Jenkins wasn't in the game. Perfect situation substitution here. Put your offensive players in. Oh, look at this.
Milt Wagner turns it over, and Tulane controls it, and with 1:51 left, Denny Crum looks perplexed.
See, now I put Jenkins in right now. He's your shooter.
They were trying to get Dabney in the game. Jones with the steal. A big turnover there, committed by Tulane.
Uh-oh. All alone.
The crowd tells you the story. Louisville back up by 7. Delph. And a quick timeout called by head coach Ned Fowler. Now we're going to keep it here. And again, you have to admire the Green Wave. Even though they've had the door slammed in their face with turnovers at critical times, they're still in the hunt with 1:17 to play.
Like I say, the only adjustment I see them making right now is, you know, substitution situations. You got to have your 2 offensive players ready to go in when you get the ball, and you have to have your defensive players, you know, ready to come in and foul. So you put your defensive players in now. You commit a foul, you send your offensive players in. You make a basket, you call timeout, you put your defensive players in, back and forth.
And the offensive players, of course, for Tulane, the shooters on the offensive end, Eads, Jenkins outside.
Burns has played well inside. Dabney's a jumper, a rebounder. You know, you've got to have people that can go get the ball off the miss if you don't convert on the first shot.
What's Denny telling his team right now? They've been out of sync offensively since the 19-minute mark of this half.
Well, he's saying keep the floor spread. You don't want to get two offensive players too close to each other because you get a double team. Also, you can't pick up the ball. You got to maintain your dribble.
Steve, as we look back on this game, do you think the 8 easy points at the start of this half lulled Louisville to sleep a bit as you look back on it?
Well, I'd almost have to go back through the film. I can't believe we've got a 5-point game right now. I mean, it looked like the game was over when it was 18. Here's their lone basket that they've had and who knows how long, a little breakaway against the full court defensive pressure, but I'd love to know the last time Tulane made up an 18-point deficit, and against Louisville, of all people.
They have certainly shown resiliency tonight. Even if they leave here with an L, they'll have to feel pretty good as they head for Blacksburg tonight after this ball game.
That's a dangerous pass.
Cross-court pass, but Wagner controls it.
As soon as Jones gets it, fouling. See, now you got to let Jones get it. Let Jones get it.
Well, they're giving him room, but Louisville does not want to pass the ball to him for obvious reasons. And Dell finally commits the foul on Wagner. Now, Wagner is an 82% free throw shooter. So that's not necessarily the guy you want at the line in this situation.
A little bit earlier, I was looking at the free throw, or the field goal percentage instead of free throw percentage. Jones shooting 46% from the line on the year. So certainly he's the guy you want. They say he's very good under pressure, but nonetheless, from a percentage standpoint, he's the guy you want to put at the line.
55-50. Now here's that insertion you were talking about. Solney coming in for Delph. I'm assuming now that Fowler anticipates full court pressure here and would rather have Solney in the game.
And Solney can get the ball off the floor a little bit better. And don't forget, people tend to discount quickness and speed in the half-court situation, getting the ball back and forth. And you're absolutely right. A little 2-2-1, slow them down. Don't want that ball in scoring position immediately. Good pass.
And John Williams hits it. Tulane now not in a situation where they can call a timeout. 36 seconds or less.
Foul, don't have time.
And Wagner will go to the line again. Foul is on Solney, and that's his first foul. Both teams have long since been in the bonus, and we'll take another look at this foul.
Well, like I say, you know, you can only waste so much time. If you don't come up with the steal, you've got to just, you know, give up the foul. But what he does is, you know, I think it's ridiculous to ever make an intentional foul and give somebody 2 shots in this situation. Solney does a good job, goes after the ball in the process of committing the foul. That's the 1-and-1.
Wagner now looks to pad Louisville's lead back to 7. Oh, that was a big.
That was the big one.
A big basket there. Now Tulane needs 4 hoops. Williams. Oh, good
pass.
Nice speed to Maurice Malcolm for the bucket, and the timeout is called. So Ned did not call the timeout after the last hoop. He waited until there were 22 ticks left because it was obvious at that moment he'd have to have a steal in the backcourt.
I'll tell you what, when this Tulane coaching staff goes back and breaks down this film when they get off the road trip, they are going to be sick because they could very easily have won this ball game. Now, that's not to say that Louisville may not have played a little bit better had the issue been close throughout the 40 minutes. But when you look at all the intimidations, the easy missed shots around the basket, they could have come out on top very easily.
They have to be stunned somewhat that they had so many breakaway opportunities in the first half. Very few times does a Tulane team have that many 2-on-1, 3-on-2 numbers games to play against anybody, let alone Louisville.
Well, the adjustment that they made, and we talked about it in the second half, they either Jones or Sumter they would use on this side of the half-court line to prevent that lob pass. And that's how they got the steals in initially. And right out of the gate, playing pressure defense, didn't allow the lob pass, and they got the steals. So they made an adjustment at intermission.
Well, this Louisville team, we talked about them last week hitting their February form in January. Certainly that offensive form has been lost somewhere because they have not played that well since. And I'm sure Denny Crum is looking for the answer, as are about 16,000 that are watching this game tonight here in Louisville.
You know, you lost the McRae brothers. I had my questions about this team, not only the talent that you use, but just the leadership, the stability, the passing abilities, just the complete play that both of the McRae brothers gave you. That's hard to replace.
Kevin Salney picked up the foul, and only 2 ticks of the clock off the clock. And we have another dead ball situation. So 20 seconds remain. Lancaster Gordon at the line. Gordon, a 68% free throw shooter, averaging just over 13 points per ball game.
Now, if he misses, they got to get this ball out quickly and get it down the floor.
Well, he's hitting those shots, and this is the big one right here, because right now it's a 6-point Louisville advantage. If Tulane is to have any chance at all, he'll have to miss this one.
Get it out. There you go.
Goche. Nice
good pass. We've seen that all night, haven't we? Oh, good tip. No timeout.
John Johnson gets credit for the bucket, and great passing down low by Goche and Thompson.
They might as well foul right now. Foul, you got to.
Wagner is fouled by Maurice Malcolm, and there are 6 seconds left, and it's a 4-point ball game, 60-56. So
you got to believe the issue's been settled now,
yes.
But this is where being on TV and not getting all the timeouts hurts you.
And there's a lot of talk about changing that rule. A lot of coaches are talking about it. And a lot of coaches favor it. So it's sort of 50-50. When the NABC gets together, Final Four week, I'm sure that will be right at the top of the agenda, don't you think?
I'm sure it will be, and I'll tell you the one thing I wish they would consider is putting the jump ball back in the game.
Wagner got them both. It's 62-56. And time is running out on the Greenway. Malcolm. A gallant effort by Tulane after having fallen down by 20 points in the first 38 seconds of this second half. They clawed their way back, and the final score tonight, the Louisville Cardinal 62, the Tulane Greenway 56. Steve Grody and I will be back with post-game activities in just a moment.
Tonight you're still a bachelor. Tomorrow's almost here. So while you're still a free man, let's bring on the beer. Whoa, whoa. On this night to remember, it's so clear. You deserve to celebrate with more taste than beer. The bull's got a taste so big, so bold, so smooth. Let's all party with the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. Don't say beer, say bull.
Hey, gang, how about another bull?
No one does it like the bull.
For Sheriff Duval, whose car lacked the pickup to make the pickup, there's Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. For Morton Mitchell, who demands the right gas, but at the right price, Gulf Self-Service makes more sense for less sense. For the Millers, whose car ran on and on, Gulf's Extra Octane helps stop engine run-on.
Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. Right.
There are all kinds of ways of being right. And Winn-Dixie's right with the weekly specials you need.
We're right for you.
We've got Thrifty Made Sugar on special. A 5-pound bag is just 99 cents.
We're right.
At Winn-Dixie, Country Pride Grade A mixed fryer parts are 49 cents a pound.
We're right for you.
We're right with a canned goods sale. 6 of these Thrifty Made favorites are just $1.99. Right.
Winn-Dixie, we're right for you.
Escape.
To golden shrimp.
Escape. To crisp fish fillets.
Make the Long John Silver's great seafood escape.
Your taste deserves a better break. That crisply different seafood taste that only Long John's makes.
Escape.
To delicious oysters.
Escape. To tender clams. Escape to something better.
Make the Long John Silver's great seafood escape.
This is Tim Brando along with Steve Grody saying goodnight from Freedom Hall in Louisville. Our final score in this Metro Conference game, the Louisville Cardinal 62 and the Tulane Green Wave 56. The senior executive producer of tonight's game was Russ Bucks. Our executive producer, Keith Samples. Our coordinating producer was Jimmy Rayburn. A great job done indeed by our producer tonight, Dave Olmstead. Our director tonight was Jim McGee. Our technical director, Don Helms. Our associate director, Bob Fulbright. Our graphics handled tonight by Carol Mark. Our SPI executives, Bill Flaherty and John Humphrey. And there you see the rest of our fine crew that worked with us tonight. This has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Productions Incorporated.
Today's telecast was brought to you by Coors. Now the best of the Rockies is yours. By Gulf Oil. At Gulf, everything we do makes driving better for you. And by Holiday Inn Hotels, a better place to be. For worldwide reservations, just call 800-HOLIDAY.
And by WDRB TV 41, your headquarters for the best in college basketball. This season bringing you 40 big games from the Metro, Southeastern, and Big Ten conferences. And the home of SportsView 41, the newest concept in all-day television sports programming, seen every Saturday from 9 to 5.